What's up, everybody? Matt Malatesta here in the VYPE podcast room. Alex Henson behind the camera. We got national champions. I don't even see any rings yet. The rings aren't even made. It's so fresh. All right. Skyline Volleyball wins the 17U national championship. I'm not sure it's been done before at that level here in the city of Houston. That's why we wanted y'all on. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Amy Burk. I am the Executive Director at Houston Skyline.
And I'm Andrew Fields, Assistant Director and Head Coach of the 17 Royal National Champions.
Okay, here's my take on volleyball and girls sports. It's the coolest sport, A. B, it's the most marketable sport. Like, we'll do these media days, and there was a time where we would invite like Page Parks, the modeling company, to come to our media days, and they would just like sign 5 kids right off of the media day because they're really they're fun. Super competitive. It's a cooler sport than all the other girl sports. However, it's uber competitive. What did it take to win this national championship, which honestly, I can't remember it being done in the city of Houston that a club team actually was the national champ.
Yeah. Took a lot. I think this team has poured in so much time. I think our staff has poured in a lot of time to this team. And so it was really cool to see it all come to fruition a couple weeks ago. They deserved it. And a lot of times at nationals, it's right place, right time. You got to be playing your best volleyball. And they did that.
It seemed like they kind of dominated the whole club season. Do you have, as the coach, I don't know how you do it, but the emotions of just the ups and downs, how do you manage the emotions of that and just kind of keep them in between the bumpers?
I think it was a lot of reminding myself as well as them that until we got to nationals, we were always constantly learning. And yeah, we had a few losses in the year that we would love to get back and go play those teams again. We even had a couple of losses at nationals, but we went back to the drawing board and we were like, all right, we were doing these things right. Here's what we need to focus on, and we know what to do. We need to get after it together again.
Skyline has become like a big brand in Houston. Not just Houston, of course, it started in Dallas, but why has it become such a big brand in the world of elite volleyball kids?
I think Houston Skyline has just been building over multiple years, and every year we've just shown that we are hungry and we are ready to outwork people. And I think that comes from the top. It comes from our staff who wants a lot, wants to push a lot. We're competitive. We want to win. And then that trickles down to our families and our kids. And that's a really cool environment in our gym where our teams are pushing each other of this team won this, we want to do that next. And so it creates a lot of cool expectation of, hey, this is what we are and who we want to be. And so that's created a lot of acknowledgement across the city of Houston, I think, just knowing that we're working for it and we're working hard for it. And then in the big moments, we're figuring out how to compete.
When you win it, what is the celebration? And like the next couple hours when y'all are kind of with the parents and stuff, and is it like you're excited, overly excited, not overly excited, but super excited, or you just take a deep breath like, oh my gosh, we won, thank God, this was a big stressor? Which one was it? What was the reaction like when y'all won it?
I felt like I was more stressed about the previous matches than I was about the championship. And so the excitement was definitely there, but I was more excited about beating Mintonette, beating Winter Park, and then definitely beating Metro in a thriller. And once we got to the championship, I was feeling more, all right, we're here. Like, I need to be thoughtful. I need to think about how I can get my team, in the right mindset while we compete in this match. And we came out on top, and it was more of a relief. And I think if y'all watch the replays of us, those winning points, I was a lot more excited winning those first 3 matches than I was showing the excitement winning the championship.
And I think too, like for us, so Nathan and I were there at the beginning of the tournament, had to go back just to do some stuff at the gym. And then we came back on day 3 just because we wanted to see what was going to happen and get to support them. And I think one of the coolest things is we have always said as a staff and to this group, and this group has always believed that they could do it. It was just, are we going to do it? When's it going to come together? And I think that's one of the coolest things with this is they got past that medal match and you could just tell, like, we're playing good volleyball. We're in a good vibe. We can do this. And so it's one of the coolest things as a director to talk to families about, hey, here's the vision of what this team is going to be. And we talk about that from 14s, 15s, 16s. In hard moments, you talk about, hey, this is what we're going to be. Let's trust the process, both from their end, but also from our end when we're like, hey, we got to figure this out. And so I think it was also, honestly, probably one of the most rewarding parts of my career that we could see them do this with my great friend who is with this team and doing such a good job. And Tiffany Edwards is the assistant. She did such a great job with this team. And she's known quite a few of these players since they were little. And so just to see it all come to fruition was super powerful because it's something we all believed. Players, parents, and anybody who watched this team and our staff, we knew that they could do this. It was just, is it going to happen and when?
So when you go into the gym, here's how I envision it. When you go into the gym in your Skyline, everybody's like this. Y'all walk in, everybody's like this. They're watching you because they know how much talent there is. Do you feel and do they feel that they got a big target on their back every time they hit the court?
I didn't feel that way, but I do feel like the girls did. It did seem like every time we did play, name whatever team, that they played their best. They were trying their very hardest because they wanted to beat us. And so I do feel like the girls felt that way, but I was more focused on competing for another match.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it might be in track or football or whatever. When people get off the bus and it's that team, everybody's like, oh yeah. And you get everybody's best game every single time. And what's weird is the transition, like for years, I'm talking about decades of doing this, Houston volleyball was not it. Houston couldn't win a state championship. It was just kind of, they had good players, but it was just kind of spread out, and not until like a Leslie Madison wins 2 state championships at the Woodlands because they got some good players. Grand Oaks is doing it now, which is amazing. But when did you see, and you played in Houston, when do you feel like the Houston became a superpower in volleyball nationally, but they first had to be a state power because there's so much great talent in the state. When did you feel that transition happening?
Yeah, I think quite a few years ago, like 2018, I think is when things really started kind of to change for us. And 2020 would have been a huge year for us. Our 18s were Maddie Skinner, Reagan Rutherford, Claire Jeter, Nia McCardell, and they're all going through high school programs too. Ridge Point was really big at that point, and we had some other classes below them that were super talented too. And so I think kind of as that class went through, each class started getting stronger and stronger. And you could kind of see that across the country too as these kids went to big programs. And so I think that's kind of when things really took a turn and every class started being really strong, and Houston started excelling a lot more kind of at that level. North Texas is still pretty crazy in terms of their talent, but we're definitely trying our best to give them their run for their money. So,
well, I mean, I think you got like a Fulsher with what Zimmerman does over there, and now even Stratford having a great year. Last year, College Park. I think the breaking up of the playoffs also has helped as well. Yeah. What was this team's aura? How would you define were they super cocky, like we're gonna win? And sometimes you might have some like, you might have like a chill team. I think this team, just having known them, what was their aura like as a team together?
They were aura, is what
Yeah.
they would say.
Yeah.
Clock it. Sorry,
they show that one.
Yeah,
sure.
that's a clip right there.
They're gonna
Bang.
love.
Right
They're gonna
there.
love that. Those 10 seconds for sure. I think a big thing that people see them as is like there's these beast volleyball players. But me and Tiffany, and I think the rest of our staff and coaches got to see them as they're normal 17-year-old teenagers. They do all the TikToks. They do a bunch of dances. They're normal 17-year-olds, and I mean most people get to see them as a volleyball player and these beast volleyball players. So. I think their aura was they didn't know it, but they still reminded me as normal 17-year-old kids that I still had to coach and guide and with lots of help from Tiffany and other staff members, but and they knew that they were good and they wanted to work hard, but they're not these normal beast they're not normal beast volleyball players. They're also these 17-year-old teenagers. That was their aura. They brought their emotional and passionate sides of things into their game.
Well, and they're definitely not short of personality.
No, they're massive personalities.
This group has big time personality, and I think what was really special about this year is just they're all at a point now, maturity wise, where they understand each other so much better. And so frequently their practices are loud, they're wild, but like that's when they play the best is when they're being fun, when they're being silly. And I think they finally figured out like what that right balance is this year of like, how can I show my true personality and then be able to feed into those people around me too. And so that was really cool to see them like reach a whole nother level of maturity. And some of that's age, but a lot of that is them just being so comfortable with each other too, that they get how each other tick. And they know now in big moments how to respond and how to help each other in good ways. So,
everybody, and you might have 2 or you might have 4 alphas in that locker room. Who are those people?
I feel like in some ways they were all alpha, which was sometimes hard to teach them how to be the beta sometimes. Like it's okay that they're the alpha right now. But I think in a lot of ways it was like they're all their own different version of an alpha too. Like even though this one kid might, show that they're the alpha, there's so many times where that kid also needed to lean on others, and we weren't our best until we figured that out.
That's a great answer. Great answer. But it makes perfect sense because sometimes if you're the loudest, you're not, there's always somebody behind you that's like propping you up and or supporting you, like you're saying, which is a huge deal. The recruiting process, I mean, you have massive, massive kids. And what I love to see is, you're right, you see Lednicki having tremendous support. You see Underwood having success. You see Skinner's, while they were homeschoolers, I mean, they were unbelievable. To see them sprinkled around the nation, which is super cool. And y'all play a massive role in that. What do you feel like the recruiting process is like now? Is it harder to get recruited, or are there more opportunities?
It's different.
I got some great questions. I'm just saying.
It's
these are off the dome
different than
right
how
here.
it used to be. Previously, the recruiting process was a lot longer, and so kids could get recruited a lot earlier, which is great in some ways that they have more time to decide. But then you also had kids making decisions at 8th, 9th grade, right? And now it's summer after their sophomore year, but it also becomes a lot faster in that model. And so we're really hands-on in our recruiting process. Lots of text threads with the girls, lots of phone calls going on, and super happy for this group. Quite a few of them went fast, but they went to programs they were so excited about, and they had thought a lot about. I think it's cool now to look at it and see where they all ended up. Like each of those feels so right in so many ways for those kids. And so while it is a little different now and it is sped up, I do still think kids are finding really good homes for themselves. And so it just looks a little bit different on the landscape of how things go.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, you got football kids, they got to manage this NIL situation. Which here's the thing, we're gonna get with this in a moment, but I believe that the girls move the needle for NIL more than guys. They don't get paid like guys, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Because this I'm a huge proponent of this. When you need, like, what would you say the style of your team was? Was it powerful? It definitely wasn't defense because it could have been defense, but you have so many amazing frontline players. Was it versatility because so many kids could be interchangeable? What do you think the style of y'all's team was?
My team.
Or style of play?
You go.
I think for sure powerful. Like this team has a lot of power as a whole, but the reason they were able to be successful was because of more of the fine-tuned skills, which is serve and pass. They served and passed extremely well at nationals, and that is essential to them being successful. And because we have so many good attackers, if we're in a good situation where our ball control is good, whether that's defense, making plays, passing, now we have multiple options because obviously we have really strong kids in a lot of different positions. But no matter what, if you become one track wonder, you're not going to win very many matches. And so I think a lot of those, like the serve and pass game, the defense, the small touches, out of system setting, were the big difference makers for this group because they can be so powerful, but you got to be clean in order to make that happen.
Yeah, that was a big focus of mine and Tiffany's, was making sure our serve and pass was good, so that we weren't constantly on serve receive, because that would mean the other team's obviously winning. And then trying to figure out, because we definitely could out physical teams, but we couldn't do that if we weren't digging and we weren't passing well. So those were our focuses as well. And then we also found that a lot of teams would play certain areas of the court based off of our power shots. And a big focus of ours was to keep those power shots, but then also learn to incorporate other shots here and there that would also score.
Now I'm going to ask you all about, like, because I know you're going to try and be politically correct here. I can see it in your eyes. Who do you think grew the most in your program? Like one kid, you're like, man, she was okay. And then she went boom. And she was like, holy crap, this girl has grown so much over the past 3 or 4 or 5 years.
I don't know. I
Are you
can't say
talking
just
like
one.
volleyball wise, or also like personality?
It could be both. It could be like, hey, this kid grew up and now she's going to X school because she put it all together.
I'm definitely not just going to say one.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, yeah, of course.
Well, then I think that they all have grown so much in their own way, and learned so much about each other in their own way from each other. So it's kind of, I don't know, your answer, or the answer to it's all of them. Because it's hard. They've all learned so many different things, different angles. They're gonna have so many different tools taking with them that we help them, make to their respective colleges.
Yeah, I could go one by one and say all the things.
Right.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, people love the volleyball, but they really want to know, like, what makes these kids tick? You're with them more than anyone. I mean, their parents, of course, but no one knows these kids. Halle Thompson, is she an Olympian? Jayden Robinson, is she gonna fit in at Nebraska and be that? Is Prihoda gonna get on the court at Kentucky? I mean, we can go on and on because you go find out. I think I know a lot about volleyball, and you're like, yeah. Just because it's the same way.
Yeah.
We see it also because we get these kids in media really young. Some of them are quiet. They don't want to even look at you in the face. And then by when they're out, they're like, oh my gosh, Matt, it was so awesome. It was 3 years of super fun. I didn't look like I was having fun, but I was having fun. But anyways, you're with them so much. Let's start. Well, you start with who you want to, but
I'll do all of
let's go. Let's do it.
I think Lacy Tinnell grew a ton in like her lateral quickness and offensive range, being able to run different things, being able to hit different shots. Taylor Johnson had a breakout year. She's one of our middles, up in transition, so dominant. I think she hit like 450 on the year, likely. And previously, she's a good hitter, but this year she was a go-to hitter. That was like a difference maker for this team. Nadiya Shelby has developed holistically in her whole game, and I think that's passing, defense, blocking, kind of all of it. I think Jayden Robinson has always been super powerful, and she is that, but I think she's way more refined now of the decisions that she's making and ball control wise, passing, defense. Halle Thompson has always had a crazy knack for serve and pass. She is one of the most elite passers, I believe, in the country, especially at her size. And I think her vision has been there, but that's been developed the longer she's been here. And I think her consistency has come a long way too. And Blair Theibaud, one of the most physical setters in the country, but became so much more refined. Technical ball placement was really strong. I think Jenna Thedford advanced a ton. She came over to us at 16s. Her and Henlee were consistently like duking it out for the bro spot and always brought really good presence, the both of them. And I think both of them evolved a ton in their ball control and defensive skills. I think Caroline Prihoda is one of the most versatile kids out there who can step in and set if you need her and step in and DS if you need her. And she had a big time ace in that match there and a big time moment that really kind of like turned the tide, and she's progressed a lot. I think Maddie Barrera has a great blocking presence, good offensive range. Reins missed some of the year this year, but super physical kid. Her range has grown. And I think, who else am I missing? Is that all of them?
I think you named them all.
I think I did all of them. Both
I should have
bros,
been counting.
setters, Nadiya, Jayden, Halle,
Lily.
yeah,
you got
Maddie,
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's so cool and so powerful to see some of the individual goals that they've set for themselves come to fruition over multiple years. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of the job. I won't always be at 15s, but normally I'm at 15s, and then I get to follow them. I'm a recruiting coordinator, and I get to follow them and watch them from afar. And so that's been one of the most rewarding parts, is just see them progress, and then they all have progressed in their maturity too.
That's what I was going to add was, I mean, I worked with them for a couple of times the past 2 years, a lot their 15s year, but this year, one of my big things was they, kind of touching on that last point, was they all had, at the beginning of the year, we did individual goals. We did team goals that each individual had for the team as well. And I kind of compiled it all together. And one of my main goals for them was for them to grow as an individual for the team. And I think we saw that come into fruition towards the end of the year, all throughout the year, but towards the end of the year specifically, it just came together. That was I think the biggest growth that I've seen from them on that respective. They put what they had individually set, so that the team can be successful, and that was a game-changing factor for us.
Here's my other thought, is that there is nothing like confidence.
Right.
I mean, and you can see it in people, and you can't see it in other people. Like they really hide that confidence. But how important is the development of confidence? And can you develop confidence? I don't know.
It's definitely something that needs to be talked about, not just in this kind of setting, but maybe as a team as well. I'm gonna call out Caroline Prihoda a little bit.
Yeah.
because we had a big team discussion in Phoenix. We won't go into details with that one, but that was a big X factor for our team, I think. Caroline was very open and upfront with us, and she talked to me and Tiffany about her confidence on the court. And we talked about it as a team. We talked about it with her, and the team helped her exude that confidence at nationals. And if you look at the nationals tapes, she was nothing but confident each time she stepped onto the court. And she was a big factor into all of our success, but our day 3, day 4 success. She just came onto the court and rocked it. And she's not a starter for us, and she knows that. She knows her role. And whenever she was called upon, she came out and rocked it. She did everything in her power to make sure her team was successful that day.
It's a thing, man. And you can't really, it's an intangible that you just can't, you can tell a kid how good they are. Like, dude, you're awesome. Be awesome. And they ain't going to be awesome if it's not right here moving in the right direction.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that we talk about with all of our kids in general about confidence is that, like, if your confidence is tied to the wrong things, you're just going to be up and down all the time. And, like, that's hard to understand as an adult. Like, when things go well for you, like, are you riding the wave of, oh, I'm not confident in myself now because socially I don't feel as strong about my friendships, or I am not doing very well at work, and so my confidence is up and down. But if you're basing your confidence off of your history and, like, the work that you've put in, that's where you end up finding a better spot, because you're not worried about, this last match I played terrible and now I'm down in the dumps. It's like, I've played 1,000 matches where I've played extremely well, and this one match doesn't define me. And I think a lot of them hit that stride towards the end, and even within the match you could see that.
Right.
It's like, hey, do we feel settled when we're down by 5, or do we look nervous? And I think they really hit a good spot where their confidence was tied to, we've done this so much. Like, we've done this together so much. We had the same exact team 2 years in a row. The team didn't change from 16s to 17s. So they knew that we thought they had everything they need to be successful. And so I think that is something that's so hard for so many kids to understand. And again, even a lot of adults to understand, is if you base your confidence on things that are circumstantial, you're not going to be very happy or very confident in yourself.
And what's funny is Halle actually started breaking us out to that. It's like, we don't have to do anything. Like, we've already done this before. Like, let's just go out there and play the game that we already know how to do. Just go play. And that was helpful, because you literally just said that. We did that in the huddle throughout nationals.
I mean, it is genius. I mean, honestly, they're all so good. Just go let it rip and have fun. I mean, the fun of the game can be lost sometimes. Can you see that? Like, man, this kid is kind of wearing out. She's burning out. How can you prevent that? You probably can't prevent it, but can you kind of see the mindset of kids when they're maybe like, they're like, this kid's getting ready to take off and be amazing, or this kid needs get loved up because she's kind of heading downstream and she's kind of burning out?
I mean, I think everybody goes through phases.
Are y'all psychologists?
No.
Y'all should be.
Sometimes I feel like
I'm
it.
telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Definitely like a self-help Caroline for a lot of people. But it's good. That's my job. And I like being that sounding board. And I think we have just seen so many kids and parents go through that we have a lot of experience with, like, hey, you need to trust this, or here's how we get out of it. And so we're able to provide a lot of good advice. We're not perfect, obviously, but
Right.
I think everybody goes through phases of those types of things, and it's very powerful to see when kids, like, kind of hit a better stride. And you're still going to go through slumps and things like that, but it's, what's your mindset when you're in those slumps? Is it, now I'm not a good volleyball player, or is it like, hey, it's just not working for me right now and I'm going to figure it out?
Well, that's the thing. Like, y'all are so close to it, y'all don't see it. But we talk to older football coaches or volleyball coaches or whatever. I mean, they're not doing this to get rich. Their payoff is well beyond when they leave, the kids leave, because you will be at a ton of weddings, and because I'm saying, like, y'all's relationship, you're kind of mentoring kids at the most important time of their life, literally, and they're never going to forget that, especially girls, because they don't forget anything. Having girls, 20 years from now, they're going to take something that you said at a practice or something like that, and that's the payoff for y'all. And that's what's so cool about coaching. That's why we love to talk to coaches. But you're impacting so many people. People can make $1 billion and they ain't impacting nobody. Y'all are impacting young people's lives in a positive way, which is amazing. Shannon, I'm not gonna say it right. Dworziak or something like that. I think she plays at Magnolia West. She's on our cover. Super insightful. She said, Matt, here's the thing about girl sports or in general. You don't have to be everyone's best friend to be a great teammate. And I'm like, dude, that's really deep. Because you watch a volleyball game and everybody's like, yeah, they're all still hyped and they're hyping each other up. How do you don't have to be everybody's best friend, and you probably deal with that on the back end of it. How do y'all navigate that? I'm not gonna call it girl drama because that kind of makes it sound bad, but how do you navigate that?
I think as they get older, like, it's very natural on volleyball teams to have like groups
Please, 100%.
that kind of like pair off with each other. And I think the best people kind of lean into other relationships without feeling like they need to be best friends with them. And so I think this team hit a really good stride. And at the end, like, they're all talking about how much they're going to miss each other. Like, and that is genuine. And even though there's been tough moments, they understand how each other work. And so there's a respect and there is a friendship. Even if it's not best friends, there is still a respect and a love for each other because of the time that's been invested. When you spend that much time with people, hopefully you are friends at some point. And that team has all really like figured out how each other work and how do we best work with each other. When do we need space? When do we not need space? And I think they've hit a good stride with kind of understanding that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we talked about respect in general throughout the year, not just within ourselves, but also other teams as well. Yeah, just making sure you don't have to have a perfect relationship. Just you operate with the respect factor, and you're going to treat people the way that you should be treating a teammate, anyways.
Okay, so we got this group that's leaving, which is a bummer because we loved this group also. And they're so deep. There's so many great players in this group throughout the city of Houston. Who's the next big thing? Who are the next big thing in greater Houston volleyball? And they might be at Skyline, they might be somewhere else, but who is like, oh, she's coming?
It's hard to really like put a finger on that because there's a lot of kids, especially on that team, who like I still don't think have hit their full potential. And so I think that's going to be a really cool thing is to see them develop in college where we only have so much time with these girls. Like we're going to use our 4 hours a week the best we possibly can and we get good results from that. But it's a whole nother level when you go to college and you're practicing every day. And so I'm cool to really see that. It's cool to really see that. And then I think we have quite a few who are on the U21 team that are going to train here in about a week, or maybe they already left, and potentially going to Indonesia. And so Blair, Theibaud, Halle Thompson, and Jayden Robinson are all on that team or on the wide roster for that team. So it'll be kind of cool to see that develop. But I think they have quite a few on that team that could end up being in the USA pipeline as things develop in college too. So
who do you think are the babies though that are like your 9th graders, 10th graders, juniors that are going to be like they're going to be stars?
Oh boy.
You said all of Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big swath of people.
Of course, I'm just going to talk about our kids.
Right, of course, yeah.
We've got some studs on our current 16s that are super talented. 15s is pretty strong too, or 14s really grew this next year. So we've been lucky, well, not lucky, it's taken a lot of work, but our 13s through 18s top teams have all qualified in Open the past 3 years. So Open is the top division, the top 24 or 36 in the country. And part of that is obviously training, but part of that is, the work that the kids are putting into. So we have quite a few in the pipeline that should be really exciting to watch.
Who in particular? Because I know you don't want to drop any names, but it's like, look, you knew Halle Thompson was going to be a star.
Yes,
you knew
for sure.
Nadiya just with her, Nadiya with her brothers being great athletes, and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl can probably dunk, and then you can see.
She
I mean, I'm like,
she can dunk.
Yeah,
that
you
can
can see. I mean, Cassie O'Brien, one of our all-time favorites. You're like, she's going to be awesome. But is there anybody or 2 or 3 kids that you're like, man, these are going to be...
It's a loaded question because we want to say names, but if we say those names, then it's like we're singling out all these other kids that we didn't say their names of.
Right. All right, just go to your website.
Response.
Sorry.
No response?
Just go to your website. Okay.
Hey, part of my job is being politically correct.
Well, that's a great point. Right. How do you manage parents' expectations?
I think it's just honest communication, and I think.
Have you talked to parents before?
Every day.
They don't accept. They don't.
Please put my reaction to that on.
They don't accept like the truth about their kids sometimes. I know this. I've seen this a billion times.
I think what's helpful is providing examples of kids in the past who have been in similar situations or similar things that we've gone through and how we've managed those things. I think that's the best way to help people understand perspective. And obviously we're looking at it from so many different perspectives. We're looking at it from a club perspective, from a team perspective, but we're also trying to look at what's individually best for each kid too. And so obviously like parents are going to be looking through the lens of their kid. And so we have to find that balance of like, hey, we've been in this situation before and here's how we dealt with it. And just kind of being honest. And I think examples are huge because we have had just, so many different scenarios that we've dealt with or helped with. And now what's cool is that like we've seen those kids go on and do big things and we've seen it pan out. And even with this team, like, we saw a vision with them when they're younger and we can talk in all these hypotheticals and then it actually panned out. So we can say that, hey, the vision was there and, the time, effort, and energy was there and this did pay out. And even if it didn't, like they still had a wonderful career and successful career, but obviously it's icing on the cake to see it all come together like that. It's
a validation of your program. That's all it is. It is a stamp, and it's like, okay, these are the best of the best.
And I think what's cool is that, like, this team has always had a target on their back. Like, ever since, you watch this team when they're young, and you're like, whoa, they're going to be so good. Recruiting year, you see the schools they're going to, and you're like, whoa, they're going to be so good. And it's almost like, when are they going to be that good consistently? And it's hard. And a lot of them aren't going to be that good consistently until they get to college. But like to see them be able to do that, I think was so huge just because the expectations were there. We try not to talk about those expectations a ton, but they are there from the general public. And so it was cool to kind of be like, hey, yeah, we can do it. And to see those girls do it on their own terms, not because they were doing it to impress people, but they hit a good aura. The last day you watch them and they're having fun, dancing in between games, being themselves. And it wasn't, are we going to win the national championship? It was, we're going to play good volleyball and see what happens. Yeah. And they were rewarded for that.
Yeah, the investment in time is insane. It's insane. But if you're going to be that elite, it's like that for everything, which is really cool to see that group do it. Because I agree. Like, if North Shore doesn't win the football state championship, it's a terrible year. And they could have awesome kids, but it just wasn't their time. But they feel it, y'all feel it. It's like, oh my God. It's more of a relief to win it than it is sometimes the joy of like, we did it. It's a relief. Like, oh my gosh, you can take a deep breath now. We did it. I get it. You don't have to talk about that. But, and see, these are the questions I need to know. Here's what I need to know. And you're not going to answer it. It's going to piss me off. Who are your favorite? I know who your all's favorite colleges is because you went to A&M. But who does the best job you feel like recruiting? Terrible question because you can't
It's
say
the same thing. It's like
XYZ group. Yeah, this is Cash. Cash is going to make his appearance. Come on, buddy. Come on down. Come on.
He kind of looks like Jordy in the face.
Yeah, he
We have is Aussie?
yes.
Yeah, we have two.
It's Cash Cam. Come on, sit down, buddy. Sit down. Okay. But you can't really but do colleges do a better job now? Are they under pressure because they can't really miss because they have so few scholarships? And the portal is, do you help kids in the portal? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it now that's so different. But the mechanics of recruiting is what now?
Yeah.
I know you can get offered as
Yes.
a sophomore.
Yes.
Carry on.
So I think what's cool now, obviously, I would say like 10 years ago, it was definitely very dominated by certain programs, and it still is in some ways. But holistically, there are great coaching staffs at a lot of programs, and the resources have grown too of like what they can do with their time. And so I think holistically, schools do a lot better in their recruiting process of prep, of knowing individual kids, like figuring out how they want to approach things. And so that has been cool to see. Like, there are bigger kids going to not as well-known programs right now, or taking a shot, kind of like doing those things. And then as of now, so colleges can reach out and express like general interest is what they call it up until June 15th after their sophomore year. When June 15th hits, then you can get on the phone with college coaches. And at that point, anything is fair game in terms of offering you a scholarship, communication, kind of all of that you can't interact with them in person for a while or go on visits until the fall. But a lot of it does happen over that sophomore summer. And then portal wise, I mean, there's a lot of action that goes on, and it seems like there's always changing dates of portal. There was just a recent change as well as a couple weeks ago. And so we do have kids that'll reach out in the portal. The nice thing is they're a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and so we help out where we can. But I think they know more of what they're looking for at that point. And so it's cool. I think there's a lot of ways where it could be better, but there's not a perfect way to go about the recruiting process. And so I think they're trying to take a lot of feedback from college coaches and, you know, club coaches to make it the best it can be. And it's never going to be perfect, but I think it's okay. It's just very fast as of right now.
Yeah. In the game, it seems like it's getting better. It's getting so much more coverage. You got a pro team here in Houston, and you know you're seeing these kids. Oh, we need more Houston kids on that Houston team. There's some in Austin and stuff, but what's the upside to this game? I mean, can it be? It sounds corny to say, but does it have the opportunity to go like WNBA Caitlin Clark-ish? Or is it going to take some time?
I think it's going to take time, but a phrase I love is volleyball is the next major league. Like, I think it is growing so much. We're partners with League One Volleyball, which obviously has grown a lot in the city of Houston. We have a pro team that's housed out of our gym. And so it's been amazing to see that connection, especially now that we have kids who very well could play pro. And very well could play for Love Houston in a couple years. And I think that's amazing, especially with like our class that just graduated and then this class at the 17s level, like they see pro people in our gym now. And that was not something that occurred. You had to go overseas. And so there's a lot of cool branding that's happening now. Volleyball girls are beautiful and kind and smart. And so there's a lot of great marketing that is happening because of that. And so I think it's only going to grow. And then I think with that too, you know, growing up, I didn't know I was going to get into club volleyball like I am, but I wanted to be involved in sports, maybe pro sports. And there's nothing on the on the girls' side that really interested me. But like now, you can go work for a pro team if you wanted to. You can work in ticketing, you can work in marketing, you can do those things. And so even if you aren't playing in pro, now there's a connection for you to stay involved in volleyball. It's not just the club route. And so that part is cool and something I know a lot of our kids are interested in too. So,
okay, here's my final question. You have to answer this question. Over your time, and you've been in Houston a long time. Not a long time, man. Y'all are still super young, but who is the Mount Rushmore of Greater Houston volleyball?
like player?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's what he said.
Who are the top 4 players in the history of Houston? I'll give you my 4. And you can disagree.
It's hard because mine's going to be more like recent based. I'm not going to know past 10 years. I mean,
Skinner's got to be 1.
Skinner's got to be 1. Skylar Fields has got to be 1. Allie Batenhorst probably.
For sure.
And then, gosh, I mean, there's quite a few others that I feel like.
There's a girl named Molly McCage a long time ago that
yeah.
played at Klein Collins.
Uh-huh.
He's from here.
Absolutely.
She was super good. This is going way back when we did.
Yes.
I mean, way back when we.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this for 20 years.
She's still on the national team.
Yeah, I mean,
Mix.
there was a girl named Chloe Collins that was so good. She would, I mean, just, you know, different positions. But I think you're right. I mean, Batenhorst has got to be 1 just because of her, and this sounds corny, but like likability, and then like she was so good. And their whole family was good, really. Batenhorst, I mean, you got Yossi Presley from back in the day.
Yeah.
She was so good. I mean, there's some
So
freaks
good.
that have come through here.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Well, and
can.
it'll be cool to see, like, those are the ones that stick out to me, but it'll be cool, ask that same question in 10 years.
Right.
Maybe it'll be different. And I think too, with the way things are going in college, volleyball players are becoming so much more well-known now too. Whereas you used to just fly under the radar because you're playing in college, you go play overseas, probably everybody forgets about you. Sorry, because you're playing overseas, and then they know who you are when you play in the Olympics. And that's about it. Whereas now it's like our kids are seeing some international players on Love Houston. They're getting to know these people. And so I think that'll be cool to see, is just the name recognition, brand recognition as they go through college, because NIL stuff is becoming crazy. And that part is going to be really exciting to see.
I'm telling these girls, we'll have them on. I'm like, y'all need to be thinking, Aloe, Lulu. Y'all need to be thinking. Y'all aren't thinking.
Big
You're
time.
like, what? I'm like, you need to build your social media platform tomorrow, maybe tonight, because they have such a massive opportunity, and they're all TikToking in the corner. I'm like, y'all are so weird. Start.
That's part of it, though.
It's 100%, 100% part of it. And it is really cool. What's funny is this also, is that they're not super approachable to guys.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? Because I would think you would have a whole bunch of like, oh my gosh, there's so much breakups, and there's really not, because I mean, they're beautiful kids. They're 6 foot tall, and guys are weird from the jump anyways, having the boys too.
We had a conversation about
You know what I
this
mean?
before before practice one day. One of our girls goes, Coach, I'm so short. I'm like, no, you're not. You're 6'1". And she's like, I need to have a 6'5" guy. I was like, do you know how small of a chance that is for you to find a 6'5" guy? Like, you better
It
be
is
a slim
hilarious
pickings.
because look, they are it. When they're walking to a volleyball tournament, they are. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, there's so and so." They walking through their high school. They might not. They don't. They're
People
like,
move out of the way.
Well,
Exactly.
a lot of them too are just like focused and don't care right now.
that is true.
about
It is
boys.
true.
Like they just don't have a lot of time and aren't going to entertain high school boys, to
I
be
don't know.
honest.
I think
Like,
they would.
I don't know. In one of our matches at Nationals, I'm not going to name names. You know who you are. She went over to Coach Tiffany and was like, Coach, do you see how cute that boy is
Oh
over
my
there?
gosh.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like the semifinals, and she's like looking at boys on the bench or the sideline.
Whatever keeps your mind right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever helps you win, I suppose.
But I mean, if like 5'9" guys had a chance with volleyball players, that's exactly who they should go for. Is like 6 foot.
Hey,
Volleyball players.
Catherine Plummer
There we
and
go.
her
Yeah.
boyfriend, she's like 6'6", and I think he's got to be
5'10".
5'10".
Yeah.
He's like a normal height. He's a normal guy.
I mean, it is hard because it's hard for girls. We had a girl that we've known forever, and her name is Nancy Mulkey, and she played basketball. She played a little volleyball at Cy Woods. She is 7 foot tall. She comes walking through that door, and you're like, you still can't get used to it, right? And I'm like, Nancy, she goes, you don't understand. There are days I don't even want to go to my house because, oh my gosh, where did you play basketball? Oh my God, you're so tall. But these girls, when they're walking around, they are getting noticed immediately. It's hard to be a 6 foot girl. I think it would be.
There's so many blessings that come with it, though.
I agree. Look at her. She's like,
It's like,
no.
yeah,
There is. But
blessing and a curse, for
have
sure.
you been in a girl's mind? Everything can be like, oh my God, that's so stupid. I can't believe I'm 6'2". It is
literally what
but
it is.
it's hard. It's hard because they are not like everybody else. But they're super fun. We love covering them, and that's why we partner with a group called Texas VBI. We're just trying to continue to stamp out citywide coverage in Houston, but also through the state because it is such a great sport, and there's great coaches and there's great clubs. I said that was the last question about 5 questions ago. The relationship between you all in high school is pretty good. It meshes very well. It's not like that in other like 7-on-7 and football coaches. Hell no. Basketball coaches, no. But this is a symbiotic relationship. I'm sure you have bumps on the road, but how have y'all been able to build that into the culture of volleyball?
I think just getting to know like the high school programs too, and just making sure they know like we're on the same team. We want your kids to be successful, as I'm sure you want them to be successful at our level, because both ways, like they're more prepared. Like if a kid has a really good experience in her high school season, she's going to be more prepared when they come back to us for club, and whether that's playing time, training, whatever that looks like for a good experience. And same thing, vice versa. Like they know a lot of our training can help them that next season and help those kids be successful the next time they come around. So I think it's just communicating well with high school coaches and making sure that they know we support them. And we go to a lot of high school matches to support our kids. And so just making sure we touch base with them and know we're all on the same side. So.
Well, y'all do a great job. All right, so history was made. Skyline wins the U.S. National Tournament. Where was it at?
Dallas.
Oh, so y'all had some home court advantage a little bit.
Well, the championship was against TAV,
which is
from
Dallas
Dallas.
club.
Oh, well, maybe not. Okay.
They had home court
They
advantage.
definitely had one.
Y'all have done a great job. We were accidentally in Vegas one year on the 4th of July across the street from this center that has the nationals at? And my family's like, who are these people? I'm like, bro. And the parents are coming back and forth and the kids, and they're like, oh my God, these are the biggest people we've ever seen in our life. But when you go to a city, it's an industry. Like the volleyball industry is in town. It is in town. And it is great to see that. Anyways, big fans of volleyball. Also, pick up our volleyball preview that's coming out. All the photos are available. All the videos available. You can buy it online, whatever. But it's got all of these kids from their teams are on the cover inside the pages of these magazines. All right. Skyline does it. I want to see the rings. I want to be invited to the ring ceremony. If y'all have a ring ceremony, yes or no?
We're definitely going to do something. I don't know if...
Do we need a parade? We can have a VYPE parade. We can just go right down my street.
We're trying to brainstorm. We have, like, if you win a qualifier, we host, like, a gold ball party. So we got to up that big time for this group. So we're trying to brainstorm what the best route is. But there will definitely be some type of celebration.
Okay, we're going to need the invite for that. So. All right, this is Matt with VYPE. We'll see you all at the game.